Starting lineups. Starting for the Spirits at defender number 5, Sky Sykes. At defender number 6, Isabel Scott. At forward number 7, Layla Locklear. At forward number 10, Giselle Ramos. At forward number 11, Darylyn Nieto. At defense number 12, Jasmine Solorzano. At defender number 16, Maribeth Huffman. At defender number 17, Serenity Powell. At midfielder number 20, Maria Sanchez. And in goal number 33, Marissa Dukic. The Spirits are coached by Robin Ramirez and assisted by Gina Ryan. And now, starting for your Knights, at defender number 4, Haley Gadd. At defender number 5, Paige Rodriguez. At midfielder number 6, Claire Stevens. At forward number 8, Macy Rackham. At defender number 9, Ella Thomas. At midfielder number 10, Morgan Romney. At midfielder number 17, Mabel Harris. At midfielder number 19, McKenna Winterton. At defender number 21, Tessa Miller. At defender number 28, Annalise Huber. And in goal for the Knights, number 0, Ensley Anderson. The Knights are coached by Ralph Dahl, assisted by Eric Dahl, Shelby Williams, and Jacob Solis. Now, if you will all please rise and face the flag for the playing of our nation's national anthem. Thank you, and go Knights!
Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the fields at Knight Stadium in Buena Vista, Virginia, for tonight's NCAA Division III women's soccer matchup featuring the Spirits of Salem College and your Southern Virginia University Knights. My name is Quinn Meyer, and joined alongside me in the booth today is Nick O'Connor. So, Nick, Knights coming off a huge victory against Methodist, the reigning USA South champs, took them down 1-0 just a few days ago. You talked with Coach Rob Dahl a little bit before the game. What was the message he had for you and the rest of us?
Yes, Coach Dahl was very clear in his excitement about what happened. However, he made sure to note that he was reminding these ladies that there are, 9 games left to be played. There's a lot of time left in the season. These ladies are wanting to host the games of the conference championship. And so they can't just coast after this exciting win. They've got to keep pressing, keep working hard, showing what they can do, and continue doing what they have done, especially in games like the one recently against Methodist.
And the Knights will certainly try to keep that going as they opened up, obviously, as we mentioned, against Methodist, a 1-0 victory to start their conference play 1-0 against Salem College now, who has yet to play a conference game. This is their conference opener, and they'll obviously try to get off on the right foot this season. So the Knights going with their typical starting lineup. We have a change in goal, Inslee Anderson, as Katrina Gardner is not available for today's game. But obviously Coach Dahl has the utmost confidence in all of his keepers, as we have seen throughout the start of the year a steady rotation between them. So I'm sure they have confidence in Inslee minding the net.
Well, I think important to note here about Inslee Anderson, it's hard not to have confidence in what she does when she's put up a save percentage of almost 85% so far this season. So when she's in, she does quite well. She gets the job done.
So Salem will kick things off and get things started. This is number 11, Darylyn Nieto, the leading goal scorer for Salem. Salem already 9 goals in 6 games on the year for the Spirits. So she's definitely a player to keep an eye on throughout this one. Knights are going to start their first attack on the far side as they're looking for some space. Going one-on-one against a defender. I think this is Macy Rackham on the far side. She'll dust it off for her teammate, then back towards the sideline. It does go out of bounds, and a throw-in for the Spirits.
Now, for those fans at home, in case you're wondering or you've noticed, yes, the Spirits are down a player today, so they will be starting this game with only 10 players on the field, giving the Knights the numbers advantage here to start the game at least. And that definitely, as we shall see moving forward, has a fair chance of playing a large part in the game moving forward.
And speaking on that, Nick, you also talked to Coach Dahl a little bit about their strategy coming into today. And obviously, huge roster for the Knights, a lot of fresh legs in there potentially throughout the rest of this game. What was his strategy going against the Spirits?
Yes, Coach Dahl said the strategy was high press. He is going to be putting the pedal to the metal, making sure that the Spirits feel that they are down in numbers. He's going to make sure that the Knights get every opportunity to score. These girls are going to be pushing. He's going to be bringing substitutions in and out, so these ladies rather are having every opportunity to be able to take those chances at their full strength.
This is Morgan Romney coming down the near side, makes a good play to get around the defender. So send it towards the middle. And the vicinity is Tessa Miller, but eventually Salem will clear. This is Darylyn Nieto, again, their leading scorer. 9 goals in 6 games on the year. She'll try to dribble her way around Tessa Miller. But a good defensive play by the Knights. They pick it up. This is Tessa Miller once again on the near side. She'll send it towards the goal just wide of the left post. They'll go out of bounds. And a goal kick for the Spirits.
So, yes, I know there was a lot of words, Quinn, but to summarize what I was saying, press hard, bring in substitutes often, use the advantage that has been given.
And they don't want to have any sort of hangover from their previous victory against the reigning champs Meredith. And Coach Dahl obviously expressed as well that, they have confidence that they are the best team in the USA South, and they want to prove that by getting out of the gates early today. This is Mabel Harris with it, looking towards the middle for Morgan Romney. She'll go near side for Claire Stevens, number 6 in the bright orange cleats. She'll look towards the middle for Macy Rackham, and she'll loft it up high on the far side.
And I think that's the big thing, Quinn, is getting into these Lady Knights' head as well, that they are, at the very least, could be the very best team in the conference. And the very best team in the conference isn't one that slows down. It isn't one that takes off the gas after a good victory.
Yeah, because, that teams like Methodists aren't going to let up, and so you want to take advantage of every game to pad that lead in the conference standings. Here's a chance for Tessa Miller. It's going to be broken up by a couple of defenders. She's back with it in the middle, going towards the left side of the goal. But it goes wide, and the keeper will grab that one. It's Marissa Dutrich, and she'll punt it back towards midfield.
Yes, I think just a little bit too fine with that touch. Get a little bit more power behind that, and you may see that in the back of the net.
Salem trying to advance things into the Knights' end, but it's going to go out of bounds. Haley Gadd is there to gain control of it. And that throw-in goes to Mabel Harris, back to Haley. And the Knights will reset things and try to start an attack of their own. This is Macy Rackham, a nice little turn to get around a defender. Now McKenna Winterton chips it back to her. It's going to go back towards McKenna. But Salem smartly sends that one out of bounds. A throw-in for Claire Stevens on the near side.
Now, with the number advantage that these Knights have tonight, I imagine that they expect to spend a lot of time on this Spirit side of the field.
Really nice move there by McKenna Winterton to get around a defender. That one gets blocked though by a Spirit. It's back out about 30 yards for Morgan Romney. She'll tap it over for Paige Varvarigos. And this is Ella Thomas now. That's rejected by a Spirit defender. Goes out of bounds and a throw-in. This is Ella Thomas again looking for a cross. She'll go towards the middle. This one goes into the box right in front of McKenna Winterton. She didn't expect it coming. This one deflects off a defender and just wide left of the goalpost. So good try there from Morgan Romney. It goes out of bounds, a corner. And Nick, continue on with your last point.
Firstly, good hard boot there. Really appreciate what these ladies are putting together so far tonight. We've seen a number of shots on goal thus far, and I imagine these ladies are expecting to see a number more.
McKenna Winterton gets taken down, sending it over Macy Rackham. She'll clear it into the middle, just at the top of the box. The ref says play on after a lot of contact there. Now Morgan Romney looking for Mabel Harris. She's got some room. She's going to gather it and try to turn. Opts to send it back to her teammate. Haley Gadd sends it on goal, going right through the box. McKenna Winterton was in the vicinity, so was Tessa Miller. But it does go out of bounds, and a goal kick for the Spirits.
So all of those words, I suppose, to ask Quinn, if you are the Lady Knights and you are expecting a plethora of shots, are you attempting to get the ball to ladies that might not regularly get shot opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to survey the field and see what options are there. Obviously, they'll stick to what's given them success to this point. Obviously, Mabel Harris got a couple of goals on the year, and McKenna Winterton, obviously, as this cross goes into the box, it's there, up for grabs, deflects off a couple of bodies. Now, Claire Stevens takes a whack at it. That deflects off another defender, as the Knights are going to try and reset things with Annalise Huber in the middle of the field, sending it over to the near side for Tessa Miller. That's number 12, Jasmine Solorzano, going to clear that out of there, but the Knights still with possession. And Nick, as you mentioned, they're really pressing the back line of Salem. As you can see, even Annalise Huber and Haley Gadd are pressed way up towards the Spirits end of the field. This is a good run by Annalise Huber, so send it towards the goal, and a really nice save by Marissa Dutrich to get on top of that one, and it remains 0-0. But yeah, back to your point, Nick, about having lots of different people get looks. Obviously, the defenders says there's a steal by Macy Rackham. Really nice through ball looking for Mabel Harris, but a good play defensively to get back by Salem, and they'll let that one roll out of bounds for a goal kick again. But obviously, you know teams are, if they're doing their research and their scouting before games, obviously might be looking at players like, the main attackers like Mabel Harris and McKenna Winterton. And so, yeah, certainly whenever you get the chance, I'm sure they're looking around the field themselves, looking for other people who might be open, and give them opportunities as well.
A little bit of a fancy touch out of Mabel Harris there.
Salem's going to throw this one in on the far side of the field, right near their bench. And you can see a couple Knights are back there defensively, but Darylyn Nieto is kind of waiting there in the shadows to give Salem a chance offensively. As here's Tessa Miller going back towards the middle of the field. Macy Rackham, a through ball for McKenna Winterton, a little bit too far for her. That'll go out of bounds, and a goal kick for the Spirits.
Well, and you'll notice, Quinn, oftentimes, in response maybe to being down or knowing that the Knights are going to be pressing the attack, Darylyn Nieto often finds herself all alone, or at least away from her teammates out near the center of the field, just lying in wait for an opportunity.
And again, it's rejected by the midfielders of Southern Virginia. Finally gets out to Darylyn Nieto. She'll try to head it back to her teammate, and a good steal, but a penalty called. I think that was on Haley Gadd stepping up from her defensive position. And a free kick for Salem.
Salem, I'm sure, hoping to turn this free kick into an offensive opportunity, get a shot off here.
It's number 20 of Salem, Maria Sanchez. She's a sophomore from Tucson, Arizona. She's back with it again, pressured by Tessa Miller and McKenna Winterton. Good defense by the Knights to force another throw-in. And as you can see, Nick, they're really not going to give the Spirits any room to move and advance the ball as Tessa Miller's back on it. Lots of contact there. That one's going to bounce out of bounds for a Knights throw-in. This is Claire Stevens looking down the near side of the field. And Tessa Miller back towards the middle. It's Macy Rackham now, lofting it up high, looking for Mabel Harris on the other side of the net. But it goes just past her. And speaking of Macy Rackham, Nick, we saw a really beautiful pass by her to set up McKenna Winterton's goal last game against Meredith, which ultimately gave Southern Virginia the victory. She's proved herself to be a very nice playmaker on this Knights squad.
She certainly has wonderful passing ability and a number of excellent shot attempts taken by her so far this season.
And this is Salem trying to clear the zone. But eventually Annalise Huber is going to kick that back in to Spirit territory. And the Knights with Paige Barbarigos back on it. She'll go near side for Claire Stevens. She'll pull up and go back towards the middle of the field across, looking for Mabel Harris. It almost got through to her, but a nice header by, I think that's number 17, Serenity Powell, to reject it.
Now, speaking on the game against Methodist and the lockdown defense that the Knights are showing thus far, I believe you were mentioning to me just earlier today that the Knights allowed 0.
Here's Claire Stevens sending it towards the middle, looking for Mabel Harris. It's a bit up high for her, and it'll eventually go past and roll out of bounds for a Spirit throw-in.
Yes, the Knights allowed 0 shot attempts in the second half of play against Methodist University.
Yeah, and Methodist obviously real high shot volume. So honestly, that was quite impressive that the Knights were able to lock down defensively like that and prevent a couple of their offensive stars any room to move. And obviously, Coach Dahl is trying to feed off of that success by pressing hard and not giving Salem any opportunity to counter offensively. That's going to be cleared out of bounds by number 7, Layla Locklear. But the Knights are back on it with Morgan Romney. She's got a little bit of room. Look towards the middle for Haley Gadd. She's going to get it back. Now Mabel Harris has got room. She'll take a shot towards the goal, and it's going to go in for Mabel Harris. Just past the outstretched arm on the left side of the goal by Marissa Dotrich. And that is Mabel Harris's 3rd goal on the year to make it 1-0 for the Knights off and running.
And Quinn, I would not be surprised at all if the Knights take confidence from that outside long shot and start shooting from outside the box much more frequently as the game progresses.
As the Knights are going to have a word with Coach Rob Dahl on the sideline before coming back out for the kickoff, as Mabel Harris finding an unusual amount of room right at the top of the box in the middle of the field, and made no mistake on that one for her 3rd of the year. She's going to get it again from Macy Rackham. Lots of speed down the far side. She'll go for the through ball to Macy, who's got a step on the D. She's going to take a shot at the goal up high above the crossbar, out of bounds, and that'll be a goal kick for Dotrich.
I think sometimes when you find that yourself out there a step or two ahead of the defender, it's an exciting moment. There's a lot of energy built up, and in those exciting moments, sometimes you just put a little bit too much into it, and I believe that's what happened there.
And Dotrich's kickoff is going to go right to Mabel Harris. A good steal by her, but eventually the Spirits will get it back. Now this is Paige Varvarigos and Claire Stevens on the near side calling for it, but Morgan Romney is going to opt towards the middle of the field for Macy Rackham. Good steal there by Salem. Good anticipation for where Rackham was going, but a good defensive play by Macy to come back and steal it for the Knights. This is Ella Thomas. And now it's Mabel Harris. She'll take this on the far side. Make it through a couple of defenders for Paige Varvarigos, and eventually it's kicked out of bounds. Last touched by the Spirits, and the Knights will throw in.
Another note on why I will not be surprised when we see the Knights taking more shots here from the top of the box. You'll see the Spirits once again stacking this defensive line, feeling the pressure from the Knights.
McKenna Winderding setting up Haley Gadd. Eventually it's broken up, but Haley will get it back for Claire Stevens. She'll send a cross into the box. It's going to bounce through a few bodies past Macy Rackham and Mabel Harris, out of bounds. Another throw-in for Southern Virginia.
So, and I'm sure the Knights here are aware of this strong defensive line that they're putting up. And you'll note, actually, as the game progresses, you'll see the Spirits line of the box, willing to move back into the box to protect their keeper, to protect that space. So they're forfeiting that.
Here comes Macy Rackham, sending it towards the goal, but a pretty easy save made by Marissa Dotrich.
They're forfeiting that top line of the box in favor of protecting against a little bit closer of a shot. The problem with that is that these Lady Knights have powerful, strong shots on them. They've got such strength, and they are more than capable, time and time again, of taking those shots from the top of the box.
So certainly being down one player, Salem wanting to crowd the box and make it difficult for those attackers of Southern Virginia, and obviously leaving Darylyn Nieto far out in the middle of the field to give them any opportunity they can to score offensively as the Knights come back on the counter. This is Macy Rackham again on the far side. She'll just loft it high. I think it deflects off a Spirit. And a good job by Marissa Dotrich to come out and grab it for it when out of bounds. So SVU leads the all-time series with Salem 2-1. The most previous matchup last fall, fall of 22, where Southern Virginia came out on top 4-2. This is Tessa Miller looking for a soft pass to McKenna Winterton, but it goes by her. Now the Spirits in control. They're just going to clear it out towards midfield, but again, Annalise Huber prevents it from going any further than that, and then Knights back on the attack. This is Claire Stevens looking far ahead for Tessa Miller. She'll get there in time before it goes out of bounds. Looking for Claire Stevens, but positioned a bit too close to the sideline, and it goes out for a throw-in. This is Winterton now in the middle, setting up Morgan Romney in the middle of the field. They'll go around the ring with Ella Thomas, sending it back towards the middle for McKenna Winterton. She'll trap it, look for an open shot, but she'll get it to her teammate that skies it over the crossbar. That was Morgan Romney taking a crack at it, but out of bounds, and a goal kick for the Spirits.
Now, Quinn, if you are Coach Ramirez for the Spirits here, you are down a player. How do you game plan moving forward? How do you set up your strategy so that you can come out here and attempt to get a win?
Well, I think at least the way I would do it, I'm not a soccer coach, but is that when Haley Gadd tried to lead Ella Thomas, but it goes out of bounds. But when you're down one player, and we mentioned earlier that I think Taylor Gable, the Spirit who's not playing, got a little bit banged up in warm-ups, and they said she might come in later in the game, but probably not. But obviously, for as long as you can, you just want to prevent the other team from scoring. Unfortunately for the Spirits, the Knights already have a goal, but I guess you just want to avoid any goals from going in for as long as you can, and then in the last part of the game, you try and press up a little bit, go for broke, and either win it or tie it. But SVU has a corner here. Macy Rackham skies that one into the box. It's there for grabs off the crossbar. It looked like Morgan Romney back on it, heads it in for the goal. 2-0 Southern Virginia. As that corner kick from Macy Rackham went high up into the air, went off a couple of bodies off the crossbar, and then Morgan Romney was able to head it back into the goal.
We seem to have a Spirit on the ground on the play, but they have since taken back to their feet. All players healthy and accounted for.
And that'll be Morgan's first goal on the year at just around the 20.5-minute mark to give the Knights a 2-0 lead, and it seems they're executing Coach Rob Dahl's plan to be aggressive and press hard, pretty much to perfection in the early going.
Absolutely. And now, I feel like once again, if you are a Spirit, your game plan has to change a little bit. There's no more, sitting back defensively, waiting for the Knights to make a mistake or waiting for the possibility of Taylor Gable returning. You've got to return some points now, because it's not going to happen later on after the point of the fatigue coming into your players. So perhaps it's time to look at a change in game plan here.
McKenna Winterton with lots of speed down the middle, looking for Tessa Miller. She's got a lead on the defender. She'll go towards the goal, but it's going to go just left of the post, and a goal kick will be next for the Spirits. So the Knights picking up right where they left off after their victory against Methodist just a few days ago, leading the Salem College Spirits 2-0 in the early going in this one. Knights are going to intercept that clearance. Tessa Miller looks towards the middle of the field for Mabel Harris. She'll reset for Morgan Romney and Paige Varvarigos. Nice give and go between Ella Thomas and Mabel Harris. Looks towards the middle of the field. It's into the box. It's cleared out by Salem. Mabel Harris tries to head it back in there. And now Morgan Romney looks to get set, and she'll clear it back outside for Ella Thomas. Mabel Harris will survey, opt back for Paige Varvarigos, and they'll go across the field for Annalise Huber. Clara Stevens now crossing into the middle towards McKenna Winterton. She does get a foot on it. And the Knights will try to reset again as they're using these last 30 yards of the field to get set. And Mabel Harris now has an opportunity. She'll cut back towards the middle. A nice move by Mabel. Cleared into the middle for Tessa Miller. It's up for grabs. And a penalty called as Salem will now gain possession after Mabel made a very nice move to cut to the inside past the defender.
A lot of players bouncing around in there, Quinn. These Knights allowing very little time to breathe.
And as that goal kick's going to get past a Spirit player, and the Knights will throw in again. As you said it best, Nick, not much room to breathe in there if you're the defenders of Salem College, as the Knights are really applying the pressure here in the early going. They almost get a clearance there, but again, Haley Gadd's there to reject it. She'll try to keep it in, but can't quite do it. And Salem will throw it in. Again, you see Darylyn Nieto, the leading goal scorer for Salem, 9 goals on the year so far. The ball just can't quite get to her. She's out there cherry picking just a little bit, trying to get some sort of offensive momentum going for the Spirits when she gets the ball.
Well, I think she's hoping to catch these Knights defenders sleeping. With the ball over on the Spirit side of the field as often it is, perhaps, or at least the hope is for her, that these Knight defenders start slacking off a little bit. You know, perhaps they're not paying as close of attention as they ought to, and it gives Nieto opportunity to make a fast break.
Dotrich is going to punt this one towards Nieto, right on top of the Knight logo. Nieto still after it. And now this is Mabel Harris getting a bit of a body check. It'll go off her last. And Salem will throw in. They'll look downfield, just trying to get it away from their own goal. But the Knights pounce back on it. This is Clara Stevens on the near side, bottom of your screen. She's looking through for Tessa Miller, but it goes too far. Bit too much power on that one, and the Spirits will throw in.
Now, thus far, it seems that the Knight defenders have done an excellent job of keeping.
This is Macy Rackham into the middle for McKenna Winterton. She'll opt back for Morgan Romney. They'll switch fields, looking for Ella Thomas on the far side. Nice give and a go again with Mabel Harris, looking for Morgan and Romney in the middle, who had a lane. But a good defensive play by the Spirits, but they give it right back to Mabel Harris.
Anyway, as I was saying, these Knight defenders doing an excellent job of keeping.
Here's Claire Stevens going for goal right off the goal post of the upright. Really nice crack at it by Claire Stevens, but it remains 2-0 as a whole bunch of substitutions are coming in now for Southern Virginia with just under 19 minutes to play in the first half.
Yes, and that is an important luxury here for the Knights. Now, as I was saying, these Knight defenders doing an excellent job of keeping Nieto off the ball. She has hardly had an opportunity to touch the ball, let alone make a play.
And we'll do our best to see which players came in for the Knights, as about 7 or 8 substitutions came in for Southern Virginia.
Well, and as we mentioned, this is part of Coach Dahl's game plan. You know, he's going to use the fatigue to his advantage, get all the fresh legs on the field that he can.
This is down deep. Knights looking to cross it back towards the middle. That's Ellie Owen on it. Now number 14, Jane Peterson. She's trying to cross it, but it deflects off of number 17, I think, Serenity Powell. And that'll be a corner kick for the Knights.
Also, Quinn, coming from Coach Dahl, in the name of keeping fresh legs on the field, we're going to see a lot of players tonight that might not necessarily get as many minutes.
As Claire Stevens going to cross that one into the box. It goes. A header on goal, and it deflects off ahead. I think that might have been maybe Audrey McKeon or number 33, Natalie Blazer, in the vicinity. It was Natalie Blazer who, I'm not sure if they ruled it offside, as she was very close to the goal line of the Spirits, but nonetheless a close call for the Knights to make it 3-0 potentially. Knights back on the attack. It goes off a face. She appears to be okay. That was a Salem defender. Now Locklear back on it. She's going to send it ahead, hoping Nieto somewhere in the vicinity, but it goes out of bounds. A throw-in for Southern Virginia.
Yes, it would appear to me that ultimately on that last shot opportunity that they did rule the ball onside, as I believe it came out as a goal kick. It seemed that the original header was offline, and Blazer was trying to redirect it back into goal.
So a pretty good effort to give it a shot, but it does remain 2-0. Salem back on it, but it goes out of bounds. A throw-in should be called for the Knights, and they do have it. And again, we've seen goals from Morgan Romney. She got the second on the day for the Knights. That was her first of the year. And also Mabel Harris with a beautiful shot in the middle of the field about 20 yards out for her third. This is number 14, Jane Peterson, getting it along for Natalie Blaze on the near side. She'll cut back towards the middle and take a shot at the goal, and a good save by Marissa Dotrich to deflect it out of bounds in a corner. Again, Claire Stevens will take it.
Now, you will notice number 7, Mattia Murray, sophomore out of Saratoga Springs, Utah, is without the protective headwear that she was wearing in the previous game. In speaking with her, she had expressed that she had suffered a concussion previously, but now has been fully cleared to play with that protective gear. No worries from the trainer.
Always good to hear as this one's cleared towards the goal, and it's going to be loose in the box, and eventually Salem clears it as Marissa Dotrich tried to come out and grab it. But it took an awkward bounce and was loose in front of two Knight attackers, but a good clear by the Spirits. This is Natalie Blazer looking for room. She'll go to the middle looking for Mattia Murray right on cue, but Dotrich comes out and is able to smother it. She'll boot this one right on top of the Knights logo. Annalise Huber was there. Now Claire Stevens will take it. Pressure being applied by Jasmine Solorzano. Ellie Owen looking far side. I think that is Audrey McKeon over there. But she can't get there in time, and a throw-in for the Spirits. So you could say probably about 90 or 95% of the first half has been played in the Spirits' territory, as there's lots of contact there. But the ref says play on. This is Mattia Murray in pursuit. She'll turn it towards the goal as Ellie Owen trying to get a hold of it. Then they'll send it back towards the goal with Audrey McKeon. She'll have another crack at it. Up for grabs though. Mattia Murray sends it on goal, and that's stopped by Dotrich.
Yes, vast majority of play happening on this Spirit side of the field. They've been feeling the pressure, Quinn, feeling the absence of their teammates. It is a difficult game to play when you are down one.
McKeon's going to stop that one from going out of bounds. A nice move to cut back to the inside. She's got some space, and she gets shielded from the ball by a Spirit defender, smartly letting it go out of bounds. And that'll be a goal kick for Marissa Dotrich. As we've said Marissa's name a lot, she is a freshman from York, Pennsylvania, out of Northeastern Senior High School. She's played in all 6 games so far for the Spirits, getting her 5th start today. and leading into today had 17 saves and 4 goals against. So a pretty solid season to start for Marissa Dotrich, as she'll kick off again.
Yes. Ultimately, a big boot coming in from the outside, sails high, leading to that goal kick.
Natalie Blazer back on it. She'll go near side for Claire Stevens. She'll sit on it for just a second, then opt back for Blazer, as this shot goes towards the goal and a good save by Dotrich. That was Jane Peterson taking a shot towards the goal.
Now, to speak once again on the difficulty of playing this game while down a player, I would think that it's not unreasonable of me at all to speak the highest of praise to this Spirits team thus far. They're having done an excellent job against this Knight squad, being down the numbers and being at that disadvantage.
And Darylyn Nieto was getting jostled around down there by Claire Stevens. They do call a penalty on her to give the Spirits a free kick, as the Knights have done a really good job defensively on her so far, denying her the ball many times. That was the first real seconds of possession she had in the Knights' territory. So Salem lines up for this free kick. They'll send it into the box, and Inslee Anderson will not have to come out. She'll just let it roll out of bounds for a goal kick.
And unfortunately for the Spirits there, that was their first real opportunity on goal.
Yeah, so far Inslee Anderson not having to make a save, as even that free kick won't count. There's a shot towards her as this one rolls back in on Marissa Dotrich. And on the other side of the field, Dotrich has been required to make 7 saves so far, obviously allowing the 2 goals to Harris and Romney. And the Knights will turn that one over, a throw-in for Salem.
Just about 10 minutes left to play in this half.
Now here come the Knights back the other way. Natalie Blazer tried to chip it to Jane Peterson. And now lots of speed for Claire Stevens coming down the wing. She's got Natalie Blazer calm for the ball. She'll opt towards the middle for Mattia Murray. Here's an open opportunity, looking for some space. They'll drop it off for Peterson. Far side now for Ella Thomas. And eventually the Knights do turn it over. This is Locklear with it, but converged on by 2 Knights. She's still with it. Trying to find Darylyn Nieto down the field somewhere. But again, good defense from the Knights prevents the ball from going past even midfield.
It's the Knights defense just swallowing everything up, not allowing much of anything by.
Here comes McKeon on the far side. She'll pull up. And a cross being sent towards the middle of the field. That's going to go way high. I think it might have... No, it won't deflect off a Spirit. And it'll result in a goal kick for Dotrich.
Now, quite interesting here, Quinn. You'll notice that the previous set of players that the Knights had on the field were beginning to become more and more comfortable taking those outside shots. This set of substitutions that has come on seems to have not quite gotten on that same page, and so they are continually looking to
strike on goal by Annalise Huber, just over the crossbar, as she took that one from about 25 plus yards out, and it goes right between the crossbar of the goal and also the crossbar of the uprights, the football goal, and it'll be a goal kick.
Well, never mind. Everything I said goes out the window. No, but a vast majority of the opportunities taking place inside of the box here.
Salem tries to corral it and find a way to clear it out, but Mattia Murray's right back on it. So send a through ball looking for Ellie Owen, but it goes out of bounds. Another goal kick for Salem. And as we take this goal kick, the Knights Athletic Department wants to thank the following sponsors for their continued support of Knights Athletics: Cornerstone Bank, Mill Creek Orthodontics, River Crossing Apartments, Straws Drinks and Eats, Grace Automotive, where SVU students and staff can receive 10% off their vehicle maintenance needs. Also Papa John's Pizza, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, The Beeve, and Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express. There's a through ball looking for Natalie Blazer. She's going to send it back in the middle for Mattia Murray. What a shot and a great save by Marissa Dotrich, as Mattia Murray had her best opportunity of the match so far. Rather, that was Jane Peterson, my mistake. And if you would like to partner with those Knights Athletics, with Knights Athletics, as those other sponsors do, you can contact Brett Schroeder at 801-633-1894. This is Claire Stevens on the corner. Low into the box, but a good header to clear it, and that results in another corner for Claire Stevens.
And because Quinn mentioned straws, and because I feel obligated to at this point, I feel like I should tell all of you fans at home.
This one goes into the box, and a header goes out of bounds. This time it'll be a goal kick.
I feel like I should tell all of you fans at home that Quinn Meyer is in fact a Hufflepuff.
Yes, I will submit to that. And going off that again with straws, they will have a music performance fundraiser by Blue Forest Theater Academy on Friday the 30th this week, and also next Friday the 6th of October. They will have an open mic night, so feel free to show up, have some drinks, some snacks, some treats, and show off your talents. This is Claire Stevens now again on the near side. She's been in for the entirety of this first half. She'll get it back from Natalie Blazer. And Jane Peterson now with it. She's got a little bit more room. She's going to try and cross it. It'll stay on the turf. Now Claire Stevens heads it back towards the middle. Knights trying to find some room in the middle of the field. Nice nifty move by Claire Stevens to get around two defenders. Still pressured, and that'll go out off of Claire, and a throw-in for the Spirits.
You know, I feel that I need to mention. So the last time that I was at Straws for a musical opportunity, I'm not sure if they have a band name, but the Dransfield Family Band was out there playing, and they were quite good. Quite enjoyed their performance. Definitely always a good time. They get good music out there at Straws.
Knights ready for yet another corner kick, their third in the span of a couple of minutes. This one goes over across the box, and that'll deflect off, I think, a Knight, it appears, and will result in a goal kick. But yeah, lots of, talented musicians and talented groups in Buena Vista, obviously including the chamber choir, as you are a part of.
We love the chamber choir. The chamber choir already having participated in a number of the school forums so far this year. Prepping for a number of concerts here pretty soon, starting in the back end of September and mid-October.
And that looked like Madison Solis going for goal on that one. It goes way high, a little bit over the crossbar, and a goal kick for Dotrich again. She's taken about 10 or 15 of these so far, it seems like, with just over 3 minutes remaining in the first half of play. Again, so many Knights swarming the ball, and they're going to have a through ball for Mattia Murray in on the keeper, and she's going to have to hop over Dotrich, who got there in time. She won the race to it and is able to smother it and slow things down. She's going to boot this one only about 20 yards upfield, where Claire Stevens tries to gather. She's pressured by Darla Nieto. Now it's for Elion on the far side. She'll make a tight turn. And now it is Madison Solis again. Ida McKeon recognizes she's got some space. Is going to deflect towards the keeper, Dotrich, and she'll have to lay out and cover this one as she gets ready to boot it back towards the Knight logo.
Now, this Knight squad out on the field continuing to look to press into the box before making shots, looking to get up close before getting the laces on it. I'm wondering how long, if at all, does it take for this particular squad to turn to the tactics that the previous squad did and start taking the boots from outside?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know, obviously, as you noted, you're looking for those crosses in the middle of the box, but it seems like the Spirits have done a pretty good job of congesting the middle of the field. And hopefully maybe for this group that opens up opportunities on the edge of the box that Mabel Harris took advantage of at the beginning of the half, as this one's cleared into Knight's territory as Ensley Anderson is going to come out to grab it, make her first touch in a while as she boots it back out towards midfield.
Well, you definitely get the advantage, Quinn, when you can cause traffic as a defender.
Tia Murray taken down hard. She'll get the penalty and a free kick for the Knights.
When there are a lot of bodies all up in one space, it's harder to take shots, it's harder to pass, it's harder to move the ball. So the Spirits definitely taking advantage of that when the Knights push down into the box. There's just not a whole lot of space to move or do anything.
Claire Stevens goes at the top of the box. It's rejected by the Salem defenders, but the Knights will quickly regroup and counter with Natalie Blazer. Makes a nice move to get around two defenders in the middle of the field. She'll take a crack at it. Goes towards the goal, but a deflection slows it down just enough for Marissa Dotrich to take control.
And now to speak once more briefly on the Chamber Singers, because I'm biased that way, and I do love speaking about the Chamber Singers. Believe it or not, Quinn, I am actually going to be featured in a number coming up in one of the concerts.
This is Jane Peterson, gathers it for the last few seconds. She's looking towards the middle of the field, but it's cleared out by the Spirits, and that'll wrap up the first half of play with your Knights leading Salem College 2-0, thanks to a lot of aggressive play, just as Coach Dahl preached before the game, not allowing Salem to even get back towards midfield, and now not allowing their main attacker, Darylyn Nieto, to really touch the ball at all, Nick.
Yes. Once again, though, I think the Spirits are pleased with the way that they've been shutting down play inside of the box on their side of the field. Really nothing doing for the Knights every time that they get down there, and forcing the Knights to take those outside shots as really their only option to get points on the board.
And with that, we will head to break for halftime, but just in about 15 minutes, we'll be back for the second half of play of this NCAA Division III women's soccer matchup between the Spirits of Salem College and your Southern Virginia Knights. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of play in tonight's matchup between the Spirits of Salem College and Southern Virginia University. Action-packed first half, Nick. Obviously, mostly for the Knights on their offensive side of the ball, scoring 2 goals thanks to Mabel Harris and Morgan Romney. So they lead at 2-0. Obviously, dominating time of possession. Looks like a lot of their starters are back in here for the start of the second half. And obviously the Spirits, they're down 1 player due to a few injuries, playing with just 10. But they are, giving it their all. They've been played pretty well. And considering how many shots, I think 28 shots for Southern Virginia have been put towards Dotrich. Only allowed 2 goals is pretty good so far.
Yes, that is quite excellent, even, you might say. And I'm sure we're going to expect a lot more of the same from this half as we've seen in the previous half. I imagine Coach Dahl's game plan hasn't changed, to continue to press hard, to be aggressive.
And just like that, the Knights will send it into the territory of Salem College. As McKenna Winterton looking for a through ball. And now they're looking for Tessa Miller down the far side, but it's going to roll out of bounds in front of her. A goal kick for Salem.
And we will see a lot of the Knights starters back out on the field. Rested up, ready to go, ready to begin the attack once more. But if you're a Spirit, of course, a lot to like defensively out of what we've seen so far, even down a player. But at some point, as a Spirit, your game plan has to change, and you've got to get points on the board.
This is Ella Thomas right now, and to your point, Nick, it'll be interesting to see if there are any adjustments made by Salem in this half to get some offensive momentum. This is Mabel Harris now in the bottom right corner of your screen. That's deflected out of bounds by Salem. Possession for the Knights. That's number 20, Gracie Duncan. Her first appearance, I think, of today. Trying to chip it along for Mabel Harris, but it goes out of bounds. A throw-in for the Spirits.
The Spirits feeling pressure up in their box once more. And with a Knight throw-in, that will only add to the pressure that I'm sure they're feeling.
Looking for Mabel Harris again. Making their way towards the middle of the field, right behind Duncan. She has some contact in the back of the leg. And now Haley Gadd with it. She'll look near side for Ella Thomas. Now Haley Gadd with it. Nice ball movement. They're going to send that one towards the goal, and Marissa Dotrich is forced to come out and make a save. Just 2.5 minutes in, and she'll get ready to boot this one back towards midfield. Way up high it goes towards Darylyn Nieto, the offensive star of Salem College, 9 goals on the year, but has had a very limited amount of touches because of the stingy Knights defense and high press.
Yes, well, chances are if there's going to be shot opportunities, that's where they're coming from.
Oh, yeah. This is Mabel Harris on the near side, surveying the field. She'll send it back towards the middle, but it's rejected by the Spirits, and the Knights will have to reset. And to your point, Nick, I think before the game we were looking at some of Nieto's statistics, and she has taken half the shots that's the Spirits have taken in total this year. I think she came in today with 36 shots attempted, and the whole team has 71 attempted on the year. This is Mabel Harris again. Back with it in the bottom right corner. Trying to find her way around. She'll get it to the middle for McKenna Winterton, who slides it into the left side of the goal. So a nice pass by Harris to get through a bunch of bodies into the middle of the box for McKenna Winterton, who strikes it home to make it 3-0 Knights.
Just out of the hands of Marissa Dutrick. Just unable to read it quite in time in order to get that jump out there. Slid right past her fingers.
Now Knights right back on it. McKenna Winterton flipping ahead from AC Rackham, who's got to step on the D. Splits 2 defenders towards the goal and puts it in again. As McKenna Winterton deflecting it back towards the net. Lots of contact in there. But nonetheless, it is 4-0 Southern Virginia. McKenna Winterton getting her second goal in a matter of a minute.
Well, the Knights certainly expect shots out of her. Normally, the goals don't come quite so close together, but it is not a surprise here. McKenna Winterton certainly putting up a wonderful performance for the Knights so far this season.
Gracie Duncan gets taken down. Ref says play on. This is Varvarigos now. Looking ahead for Macy Rackham, who got yet another assist on the McKenna Winterton goal. Macy following up a strong performance against Methodist just a few days ago, where she was the setup player for the lone goal on that day. Salem to throw in. And it'll be back for another Knight throw in this time.
Now, Quinn, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe McKenna Winterton was also the lone goal scorer of the game against Methodist.
She was, correct.
So just an integral part of this team. They certainly count on her in every single game.
Yeah, she's obviously been a key part of this Knights attack for a number of years as Macy Rackham makes a good steal. Sends it into the middle of the field. Now Haley Gadd pounces on it. Now it's Ella Thomas. Crossing it into the box it goes. Pops back out for Morgan Romney. And the Knights will settle it down with Ella Thomas. So 4-0 in favor of the Knights. 2 of those goals coming in this half, just about a minute apart, both by McKenna Winterton. As the Spirits desperately trying to get some sort of offensive momentum going. This is probably the furthest it's been down in Knights territory in a while. Certainly in this half. As Mabel Harris now with it on the near side. And that's going to be offsides on Gracie Duncan, who had a clear path to the goal, but she was behind the last defender of Salem. So the Spirits going to try and use this free kick to set up Darylyn Nieto somewhere downfield, but it gets rejected again by Paige Varvarigos, not even eclipsing the midfield line as Mabel Harris making a run out of it. She's going to get to the ball in a battle, and it rolls out of bounds. I think it deflected last off Mabel Harris, and it does. It'll be a goal kick for Marissa Dotrich.
Now, Quinn, Darylyn Nieto has been clutching her side and shoulder for the last minute or two. So seems to be in some sort of discomfort. However, moving about the field, running about the field, so certainly able to still play, but she doesn't seem quite comfortable doing it.
So hopefully for her and the Spirit, she'll be feeling more normal pretty soon, as there's a high clearance. Macy Rackham, I think, going down after Marissa Dutrich. My apologies to her and her family, as I think for most of the game I was pronouncing it wrong, but the Knights are back on the attack. And now Morgan Romney with it. She'll take a whack at the goal, and a good save by Marissa. Laying out. It's up for grabs. McKenna Winterton going after it, looking for the hat trick. It's still loose. And finally the keeper is able to to grab hold of it and slow things down. Again, never a bad idea to put the ball on goal and see what happens, just as Morgan Romney did there. And now Mabel Harris back with it.
No, I think the Knights are certainly content to pepper Dutrich with as many shots as they can.
Romney back with it. Looking for Tessa Miller down the far side. She'll cut back towards the middle. Bounces off a couple of Spirits. And now McKenna Winterton back on it. She'll drop it for Macy Rackham. Good lead pass ahead on the far side. They'll look back towards the middle. Almost had cutting Gracie Duncan, I think it was. But Annalise Huber intercepts again. Lots of speed through the middle of the field. She's taken down. And a lot of whacking away with the feet there. Created a lot of contact. But a free kick for the Knights will result out of all of that.
For those of you interested in a status update on Darylyn Nieto, as she did step away from play for a moment, it seemed as if she had been speaking with Coach Ramirez and perhaps the trainer for a moment. And it would appear all have come to the conclusion that she is to continue play. They've given her the green light to move forward for the time being.
And the Knights set up for this free kick. And Mabel Harris is going to go for a goal right off the upright. As Mabel Harris went for goal on that one. Came up empty, and a goal kick for Dutrich. Salem is just going to clear this one out of harm's way. 40 yards back where Haley Gadd will pick it up. And Varvarigos will set up Thomas. But I think Ella Thomas was offside. She is. The flag was up. And Salem will free kick from about 10 yards outside their, 10-15 yards outside their own net. Actually, Nieto pretty far back in her own territory trying to gather that one. Salem tries to turn it back upfield.
I believe that's the furthest back we've seen Nieto thus far today.
Yeah, they've certainly been trying to leave her a little bit forward in case any offensive opportunity arises, as there's a tough battle for the ball between a Spirit and a Knight, and that will result in a goal kick, or a free kick rather, for Salem College.
Keeps talking about Spirits and Knights, Quinn. Sounds like you're about to start up a D&D campaign or something.
Again, this one doesn't make it towards midfield before Morgan Romney intercepted it. Now it's Ella Thomas. She'll gain speed, look towards the middle of the field. Macy Rackham, a through ball for McKenna, looking for the hat trick. And what a save by Dutrich, denying Winterton of her third goal of the half.
Good opportunity, even better save.
And that'll be Dutrich's 11th save on the evening. As the Knights get ready for this corner, it stays low off the side of the net. Was Harris in the vicinity, but a goal kick for Salem. Just 12 minutes gone in this first half. It looks like McKenna Winterton coming off. And I think that's number 16, Elizabeth Crawford, sophomore out of Lexington, Kentucky. We'll see her first action on the night. So Inslee Anderson pitching a clean sheet for Southern Virginia. And if they're able to to make that happen, that'll be 2 clean sheets to start conference play. Exactly what you want if you're Southern Virginia. Macy Rackham now, as they're going to look back towards the middle of the field. It's rejected, though, by a Spirit, and the Knights will throw in.
Knights certainly not letting up, looking to put more points on the board.
This one's cleared towards midfield. Annalise Huber gathers. Will set up Haley Gadd. And they'll work their way around the ring for Ella Thomas, but go back to the middle. And Morgan Romney can't really handle that as a Knight trips up. Play on, the ref says. And now the first real opportunity for Nieto, but she can't get to it in time. So a bit of a blown opportunity for Salem as they finally had Nieto and pretty much a one-on-one situation. Just Haley Gadd back, but couldn't convert.
It probably her best opportunity of the night if that pass can connect. Now, Quinn, you have mentioned to me that this is the Spirits' first conference game so far this season. And next week they look forward to playing Methodist University. Now, the Knights have just seen Methodist here at home. So if you are Salem, what do you do to prepare for Methodist moving forward into this their next game?
Well, I think the first thing they'll want to do is, obviously focus on getting healthy, as they have a couple of injuries that's caused them to play a lady down. As Mabel Harris, a good job to force that out of bounds, and it bounces off of number 5, Sky Sykes last. And the Knights are trying to counter, but the possession goes back towards the Spirits. But yeah, obviously, want to do their best to get healthy. But also, do your research and watch some film on the team as Macy Rackham looking towards the goal. It goes above. I think that was Elizabeth Crawford in the vicinity who just subbed in a few minutes ago. And but yeah, Salem, they do face Methodist this Saturday the 30th, while your Knights will head to Rocky Mount, North Carolina to face North Carolina Wesleyan University. That one's going to bounce last off a Knight. Throw in for Salem. Salem finished 8th last year in USA South Conference play and have put together a strong start to their season, 2-2-2. As they're going to go from goal far out. I think that was Paige Varvarigos, but a pretty easy stop for Marissa Dutrich.
No, not particularly challenged there. Now with just under 30 minutes left in the half, we continue play.
It's going to be a steal for Southern Virginia, but play is called to a stop, as it looks like we're going to have a substitution for Southern Virginia. Looks like that's Mabel Harris coming off. And coming into play, I think that might be number 12, Bailey Ricker. There in the middle of the field.
Yes, and you don't realize what a luxury substitutions are until you have to play down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Salem certainly feeling the effects of that as the game moves forward.
Bailey Ricker's a freshman from Houston, Texas, and if I'm not mistaken, has 2 brothers, or 2 family members, Trey and Tyler, who are part of the men's team, who just got done playing Gallaudet University a few hours ago. As here she is, Bailey Ricker with it. And they'll lay it off for Ella Thomas on the near side in the corner. She'll cross it towards the middle, looking for Elizabeth Crawford. They have another whack at it. It's going to go wide left for a goal kick for Marissa Dutrich.
And what a game it was for the men's team. Remind me of that final score, Quinn.
They ended up winning 10-2, so they certainly piled on the goals. And it came out against a team who last year they actually lost 1-0. So certainly a statement win on how much the men's team has improved this year. Here's Morgan Romney looking for some space. She's going to find Macy Rackham. She'll turn, switch fields, but a deflection will clear that away from the box by Salem College.
But the Ricker family, a soccer family through and through, it would seem. And as always, I am partial to Houston, Texas, being that was where I served my mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And it looks like, I think we're going to see Claire Stevens again in for Tessa Miller, number 21. Claire there on the far side. She's a freshman from Gilbert, Arizona, out of Highland High School.
Now, I think, actually, Quinn, missions are something that affect a school like SVU in a way that other schools within the conference or that SVU might play in a much higher capacity than they will affect any other team, being that oftentimes they will lose a lady for a year and a half at a time, just pick up and go out to some other country even, and be entirely removed from the team from that amount of time.
Yeah, so oftentimes with the athletic programs at Southern Virginia, there's lots of turnover, which in many ways makes it difficult for these head coaches. They need to get creative with recruiting, and really it's a pretty intense process to recruit each year, because you're trying to fill out your roster in place of sometimes even freshmen who, as you said, will leave and serve 1.5 or 2-year missions for the Church of Jesus Christ.
And it's quite interesting because sometimes these players will leave on their missions and they'll decide to transfer to another school at that point, or they will have been going to another school, go on their mission, and decide they want to transfer here. So yes, definitely a lot of turnover. And just a reminder that this night squad is a squad that has 20 freshmen playing for their team.
Yeah, so lots of newcomers and fresh young legs to fill out the roster, but also another thing that, as Ella Thomas gets a nice pass from Annalise Huber, who calls for it back, she's going to cross it towards the middle of the field, or McKenna Winterton. It went over her head. But back to your point, Nick, obviously that creates lots of turnover with these rosters, but I think one of the reasons why this night squad is so strong that they do have a bunch of freshmen, as this one goes towards the goal and a good save by Dutrich. That'll go out of bounds, a corner, but they also have a wealth of more experienced players and leadership, like Mabel Harris, McKenna Winterton, and Ella Thomas is a junior. So a good dose of young and older players, as this one goes right into the box, and looking for the header was a night attacker, but it bounced right over her. It'll be out of bounds for another night throw-in. Fancy move by Bailey Ricker to try and chip it over the defender. Salem gets to it, but it'll go out of bounds. Another throw-in for Southern Virginia.
No, I don't believe we have any on this particular squad, but sometimes the Knights will receive a freshman who is a couple of years older than the standard freshman, simply because they have left on the aforementioned mission prior to attending college.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes these freshmen coming in are already 20, 21 years old.
And here's a chance for the Knights right out in front. A shot goes towards the goal, but a good save by Dutrich to deny. I think that was Elizabeth Crawford who had the opportunity. She was subbed in about 10 minutes ago. As Annalise Huber back to gather. Nieto's on it. First good possession for her. Gives Morgan Romney a shove. And the ref is going to rule a penalty on Darylyn Nieto. Now Ella Thomas setting up Crawford. A good steal by her to poke at it.
So I suppose all of this to say that, you may see a wealth of freshmen on these different Knights squads, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are the youngest of squads.
This is Emmy Giles making a run at it, but goes against a couple of Spirit defenders to cut off the angle for her, and Dutrit smartly comes out to smother it. They'll head back for Claire Stevens and McKenna Winterton. A through ball. Looking for Crawford. She just can't get there in time. And it'll be a goal kicked for Salem. Just over 21 minutes remaining in the second half of play. Knights lead 4-0. And with this goal kick, the Knights Athletic Department again wants to thank the following sponsors for their continued support of Knight Athletics. And Nick will read you off the sponsors and events.
Cornerstone Bank, Mill Creek Orthodontics, River Crossing Apartments, Straws, Drinks, and Eats, Grace Automotive, where SVU students and staff can receive 10% off their vehicle maintenance needs. Papa John's Pizza, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, The Beeve, Sweet Souvenirs, and Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express. If you would like to partner with Knights Athletics to promote your business to the Knight Nation, please contact Brett Schroeder at 801-633-1894.
Here's Ella Thomas with an opportunity, but she's going to get called offside. And as Nick read you off those sponsors, we also again wanted to mention how Straws, Drinks, and Eats, they're having a music performance fundraiser by Blue Forest Theater Academy on this Friday, the 29th of September, that is. And then next Friday, as there's lots of contact there just outside the box, it looks like that'll be a free kick for Southern Virginia. But next Friday, the October 6th, Straws will be having an open mic night. As many of you might know, Straw does have a little stage area where they have various performances. And so head down to Straws next Friday and showcase your talents as Ella Thomas gets set for this free kick. The Knights are going to load the far side of the box. She'll keep it on the ground. Now Annalise Huber will take a whack at it, and it'll go over the crossbar out of bounds for a goal kick.
Quinn, have you ever thought about getting up there for open mic night?
I have never, and will never.
Why is that? You don't have a beautiful voice you'd like to share with the world?
Not quite, and I think people will be glad I won't share it as Salem tries to clear it. And
you don't have any jokes you're bringing out?
No. As now Ellie Owens with it. She'll go towards the middle of the field. That's broken up by a Spirit defender. Good play by her. This is number 10, Gisele Ramos. But that's taken back by Stevens and Owen. Through ball looking for Bailey Ricker on the far side. She's going to try and get there in time, and she won't. Flag goes up. Throw in for Salem.
Now, while it seems that Salem has done a decent job of locking down the defense, being a player down.
Here's a chance for the Knights. In the middle of the field, trying to get to it. It's McKenna Winterton just wide left of the post. And that will result, the referee does give the signal of a corner kick on the far side as Claire Stevens gets set to take it. Winterton really going for that hat trick of hers. She's got 2 in this half to put her at 5 on the season so far.
Anyway, as I was saying here, that while they've been locking down the defense well enough here, one of the real struggles of this Spirit squad seems to be that they can't seem to connect the passes from their midfielders to their forwards. There hasn't been a whole lot of chemistry there, at least tonight, and unable to get Daryl and Nieto participating in the way that they normally would like.
They're going to try and clear this one downfield. Nieto back on it. You can still see she's kind of nursing that left side of hers, trying to play through it. Morgan Romney, another steal. She'll put on a tee for her teammate. But that's taken away by the Spirits. A really nice move to get around a defender, and now Ella Thomas is with it. She'll look outside to Ricker, who will chip it into the box, and Marissa Dutrich is there to clean it up. And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like the Knights made a change in goal, taking out Inslee Anderson and putting in number 1, Chloe Miller, freshman from Gilbert, Arizona. This is McKenna Winterton trying to go coast to coast. She gets through a couple of defenders, in on goal. She'll go towards the middle of the box, and it looks like it might have been a handball. They're trying to call for it, and I think they do, as play went on for a couple seconds longer than the whistle. But it will be a free kick for Salem College.
Just over 15 minutes left of play now.
That one's going to bounce off a couple of bodies and back in possession of Southern Virginia. Just over 15 minutes remaining in the second half. Knights lead it 4-0. Thanks to 2 goals in the first half and then 2 goals early in the second. McKenna Winterton making a run. She's got to step on the D, and she'll put it in for a hat trick. McKenna Winterton.
McKenna Winterton, excellent all year. Continues that excellence tonight, as shown in tremendous evidence here with the hat trick.
She's going to equal her goal total on the year with just her 3 goals tonight, to double her season total to 6, and that'll make it 5-0 in favor of Southern Virginia. Salem trying to gather some speed, a bit of a side check given by number 13, Emmy Giles, and the Knights are back in possession. This is Ellie Owen in control, and it looks like it deflected off a number 7 Locklear up high, maybe in the face or head area, as she gets back up and tries to walk it off. We hope she's okay. Looks like she's shaking her head to her teammate or nodding her head that she's fine.
Now, what I love about this particular Knight squad is, yes, McKenna Winterton is a senior this year, meaning next season, she won't be with this squad. However, players like Mabel Harris, who is a junior this year, will still be playing with this squad and still be able to lead. And we're saying her name quite often. She's quite involved on many a play. And Macy Rackham is only a freshman this year, so she has a number of years left to play with this Knight squad to continue to learn and to grow. And she's already doing an excellent job. So while this Knight squad looks great already, they continue to have time together as the years go on to continue to build chemistry, continue to grow together.
This is McKeon sending it along the far side for Claire Stevens. She's going to get another through ball back, but the Spirits get there in time to clear it. It'll be a corner for Southern Virginia. And we just saw that number 7, Layla Locklear, went back over to the sideline to be checked out by the trainer. Looks like she might be coming back in just to make sure everything's okay, as she got hit in the head, it appeared, by the ball just a couple of minutes ago. And meanwhile, as we get set for the corner, the Knights will make a couple of substitutions. 12 corners on the day for Southern Virginia, 0 for Salem. As this one's a bit low, right towards the defender who deflects it outside the box. They'll try to send it back towards the goal, but it deflects again off a Spirit defender, and the 13th corner of the day will occur for the Knights.
Now, with just over 13 minutes left of play, we still have not seen Taylor Gable from the Spirit squad come out onto the field. With the Spirits down 5-0, I don't imagine that we will be seeing her tonight. I imagine they will to opt to keep her out, to not risk re-agitating whatever may have happened.
Yeah, that seems like it would make the most sense at this point in the game. As again, the Knights making a couple of more substitutions. Annalise Huber going off, as well as Bailey Ricker. As that one goes into the box, a header in the middle, no one covering. I think that might have been Audrey McKeon, but a good save by Dutrich, well positioned to grab it and make her, I think, 14th or 15th save on the evening. So despite the 5-goal deficit, Dutrich is playing very well. Keeping them in this one is Macy Rackham back on the attack. A good move to get by and a great save by Dutrich. Another chance for Ellie Owen, but she's going to fan on it as her and McKenna Winterton converged on the ball. And just 12 minutes remaining. They'll set up Madison Solis. McKenna Winterton back in the middle. Drive there, and another good save off the Audrey McKeon shot by Dutrich. As she's made a couple of highlight reel saves back-to-back on some excellent Knight attackers.
The Knights certainly testing her mettle here. Continuing to pepper her time and time again with shots.
This is Ellie Owen. She might look for a cross, but she'll keep it on the ground. Tessa Miller, up high it goes, punched out by Dutrich. As I think Mattia Murray was in the vicinity to apply pressure, and eventually Salem will clear it out of bounds for a Knight throw-in.
Frankly, the saves by Dutrich only seem to get more impressive as the game goes on.
Knights back on the attack again, as obviously they are not letting up with 11 minutes remaining in this one. Up 5-0, and they're going the whole 90 minutes, just as Coach Dahl said. Coach Rob Dahl in his 4th season with the program. He wanted his players to press, and press they have.
I think as well, Coach Dahl is not interested in having his players, even for a moment, get the feel of letting up while they are out there on the pitch. You know, there's no relaxing out on the soccer field, and even if you're ahead, I'm sure Coach Dahl does not want these Lady Knights to get the feel that that's something they can do.
And you know, Nick, this could just be setting the bar for what these ladies, or what spectators should expect from the Knights going forward. As you mentioned, Coach Dahl said there's still 8-9 games left in conference play. The most important part of the season, and they want to win conference, host the tournament, and make the NCAA tournament. As McKenna Winterton, lots of speed, making a run. Good pass from McKeon, just a bit too far in front of Winterton. Knights still in the attack until Salem finally clears it. But obviously Coach Dahl wants to go the full 90, not just this game, but the other 9 games they have on their schedule. There's a good feed from Ellie Owen to McKenna Winterton. McKeon's going to have a crack at it. A good save by Dutrich to slow things down. Now under 10 minutes remaining in this one. Knights lead at 5-0. Way up high, where Madison Solis can trap it, and they'll feed it back for Maddie Staples, number 29, who subbed in this second half as well. Through ball for Ellie Owen. The flag stays down. She's going to cross towards the middle. deflects off a Spirit as pressure being applied by the Knights. Taken down. Ref says play on. This is now Tessa Miller sending it towards the goal, and that'll be covered.
Little wrinkle
by
on
Marissa
that shot.
Dotrich. This one's booted towards midfield. It'll bounce off Tessa Miller's knee. So now Winterton looks like she's full of energy in the second half. 3 goals already. Back in the middle of the field it goes. A shot goes just over the crossbar, out of bounds. A goal kick for Dutrich up next. And just over 8 minutes remain in the second half of play.
And of course, if you are Winterton, how can you not be full of energy at this point? You've had opportunity to come on and off the field, stay rested, but also you have the 3 goals under your belt. You are excited and rearing to go, and you feel like, who knows, maybe I can get 4.
This is Nieto trying to make a run for it down the far side. She's being converged on by 4 Knights. She eventually loses it. And the Knights will try to work their way back upfield. A good play by McKeon to shield the defender from the ball. And Salem will just opt to clear it back into the Knights' territory. Falling down there, but able to get around a defender. A nice recovery by the Knights. Is now, I think that was Maddie Staples on the nice move there. McKenna Winterton nicely gathering it. They're going to look for McKeon in the middle of the field. But Salem will get to it and just clear it out of bounds. Looks like we might have Courtney Pack coming in, and as well as Elizabeth Crawford. So a lot of different Knights able to see the field, and Coach Dahl stuck to his word that he's going to take advantage of fresh legs and go to full rotation of his players. But McKenna Winterton still full of run out there, trying to add to her hat trick. Her along with Mabel Harris and Morgan Romney are the goal scorers. Mabel Harris getting her 3rd on the year. Romney with her 1st. Those both occurred in the first half. As Winterton now sizing up the defender. She'll cut back to the inside, then go to the middle. A nice pass to set up her teammate. But she whiffed on it. And Dutrich, fortunately for Salem, is able to cover it. That was number 23, I think. Brinley Julian, the sophomore from Salt Lake City, Utah, had a golden opportunity right in the middle of the box.
It also seemed as if there was almost an own goal on the play.
As the Knights will come back with it. Lots of speed still. And they're looking for Ellie Owen on the near side. It deflects past her. And Murray will pick it up. They'll take their time and survey the field. Now it's Jane Peterson. So tons of shots going the way of Marissa Dutrich. This one's cleared back towards the middle. Peterson looking for some space, but none doing, and it'll be a throw-in again for Southern Virginia.
Yes, if nothing else, Dutrich is certainly putting together a good highlight reel for herself tonight.
Yeah, lots of play in the Spirits territory, which has resulted in, at this point, maybe 50-plus shots towards the goal, but Dutrich has certainly done a really nice job to not panic and really help Salem stay in this one.
Yes, some straightforward saves from her, but also some really incredible saves as well.
Salem's going to line up for another goal kick.
Now, at this point in time, I simply must sing the praises of this Salem College squad. They have been down a player all game, and these ladies have been running nearly nonstop for the last 87 minutes. I could not tell you the last time that I did that, but it's been a minute. And certainly if I was out there, I would not be able to move quite nearly the way that they are still doing.
Yeah, certainly high praise for them. It's, it's never easy to play a full 90 and then throw on top of that being down one player. Certainly a very difficult task, and, obviously they came in expecting it to be hard, but they've done very well for themselves, and while this won't be the result they obviously would wish for, hopefully there's some positives from their effort and their strength defensively that they can take going forward, because they obviously have a really big match on Saturday against, again, the reigning champs, Methodist University. As this is now number 15, Macy Collin. She'll lose it, and now a throw-in. That's number 5, Sky Sykes, taking it for the Spirits, but Collins was able to disrupt that pass. As in the final 2 minutes, Salem trying to get something going as Mattia Murray's given a rough ride by Darylyn Nieto. So, in all likelihood, the Knights are going to advance to 3-4 and 1 on the season, but more importantly, 2-0 in conference play. We've heard Coach Dahl talk a lot about how they scheduled a really difficult preseason on purpose to prepare the Knights for conference play and really difficult teams such as Methodist, who they did knock off a few days ago. But they'll march on to Rocky Mount as there's a clear towards the goal that Dutrich has to save. That shot was put on by Dezana Grabarczyk. She is from Regina in Saskatchewan and all the way up in Canada. She is a freshman. And now just 1 minute remaining as Macy Collins picks it up. She's got Mattia Murray looking for a through ball down the near side. She'll cut back towards the middle, cut off by Locklear, who falls down. And that looks to be offside, as number 23, Brinley Julian, was just a step ahead of the defender.
And Quinn, I think the difficulty of schedule early on is really just a show of intelligence and planning out of Coach Dahl. Really prepared these Lady Knights well for the conference games to come.
It's Brinley Julian again in a battle, but it goes out of bounds. Good job by her to force it out. Macy Collins wants to go quickly, maybe one last attack for Southern Virginia, but she mishandles it. It goes out of bounds behind the Spirits' goal, and that'll wrap things up for this one. A 5-0 victory, courtesy of a hat trick by McKenna Winterton, all in the second half, but also fine play and beautiful goals from Morgan Romney, as well as Mabel Harris. And the Knights keepers, Inslee Anderson and Chloe Miller, combining to pitch a clean sheet. And so leading into their third conference match against North Carolina Wesleyan this weekend, Nick, what do you take from this game or just their general start to conference play building into the next match?
Well, I think you're quite excited about the performance out of McKenna Winterton. And perhaps she feels a little bit more sure-footed moving forward, a little bit more capable with each shot that she takes, a little bit more sure that those are going to meet the net. We saw a lot of good passing out of the Knights, a lot of good defense. And I'm sure Coach Dahl will speak with them on all of those things, the good, and I'm sure the things that he wants to tweak a little bit. But overall, a lot to be happy about, a lot to be excited about for this Knight squad.
So the Knights will close the book on this one. Again, as we mentioned, their next match will be on Saturday in Rocky Mount, North Carolina against NC Wesleyan. And the next time they're at home will be next Saturday, the 7th, against Brevard College here in Knight Stadium. We look forward to you joining us in another edition of Knights broadcast next week. Thank you very much and have a pleasant evening.